You're going to start seeing people using Kava. It's going to be everywhere. Eventually, it's going to be as common as a cup of coffee.
Why are influencers and entrepreneurs and all these people so big on Kava?
It's a great question, actually. And honestly, it's like, why are so many of the biggest, content creators, specifically influencers and thought leaders, switching to Kava as like their main go-to nootropic or like main go-to daily compound, even over coffee, honestly, right? Coffee's everywhere in the culture. It's ubiquitous. It's like part of everyone's morning ritual. But in the South Pacific and Polynesia, that is Kava. It's not just another supplement or another compound like stacked in this like menu of a million options, like with, medicinal mushrooms, lion's mane, and ginseng and all that stuff. It's a substance that entire cultures are built around, and it's a ritual. It's a daily ritual. And so because it's so experiential and because it helps to develop a person mentally and emotionally and psychologically the longer that they use it, right? It's plant pharmacology is what it is. It actually connects the two hemispheres of the brain through this unique biochemical interaction. Again, without downregulating or depleting any of this chemistry, it helps to prop up the brain. It helps to restore feel-good chemistry like dopamine and GABA and serotonin and acetylcholine. So it feeds the brain at the same time as integrating it. So the perspective that people get whenever they get into a Kava state of mind or a Kava state, right? There's a coffee state of mind. Everyone knows what that feels like. It's stimulated. It's normally beta frequency, right? Meaning that it's productive, but it's not super like relaxed and introspective because it's more about go, go, go kind of a situation. But the state that Kava elicits is a state of presence. It's a state of flow. It does activate dopamine and clarity and motivation and drive and desire, but from a place of sort of relaxed presence. That's what we think of as the optimal state of mind, almost kind of like what people are trying to get through with heavy meditation. That's the goal, is to kind of be in that state where you're calm and you're just observing your circumstances, and you can kind of zoom out and kind of look at the menu of options in your life and kind of see your life like a schematic instead of being so reactive right in the moment and just being in sort of a lower primitive state, which is what stimulants do. Kava has been shown to sort of integrate the two centers of the brain, the left, which is the rational, and the right, which is the more creative, introspective, to where in a larger sort of what I call systems thinking, it brings about a state of mind that I call systems thinking. Kind of like what you get into, like what I said, with deep meditation, or even with like psychedelic medicines that are becoming very popular. Those have a very limited spectrum of use, especially at high dosages because of legality and because of their intensity. Kava's not like that. It's almost kind of like what people are looking for with microdosing psychedelics. A lot of CEOs in boardrooms, a lot of creators, a lot of thought leaders are microdosing psychedelics because it gets them in that optimal creative state of mind that kind of allows them to sort of zoom out and to look at the aspects of their life on the table like they're all sitting out like a blueprint or a schematic, right? So it's a very reflective. It allows you to kind of get perspective on things. And Kava has that component, but at a degree and to an intensity that can be tolerated anytime. It's not visual or anything. It runs in the background, but almost like microdosing psychedelics without the side effects, it kind of brings about that state of mind. And so wrapping it back around, I say all of that because this is why some of the greatest thought leaders and creators and podcasters, shows you might have seen me on, and people in our circuit, like Dave Asprey or like Ben Greenfield or some of these other guys, are taking Kava, right? And the reason is because it's an all-purpose nootropic. It's an all-purpose functional substance that kind of gives you the productivity, it gives you the clarity, but it also gives you the relaxation and sort of intentionality, right, behind your thought processes, which, in the future, we actually believe, I think it's inevitable, it'll become the official drink of podcasting. Like for a period of time there, it's like kind of in today, out tomorrow products like Liquid Death were like on every major podcaster's like desk as their podcast in there. And that's just a flavored water. It didn't have any function to it. But Kava, I think, is going to absolutely catch on as like the primary substance to facilitate the state for deep connective long form interaction and for curating information. It's just so good for processing and delivering information. It's like we're on it right now, you know what I mean? It's really great across the board. And so I think we're going to continue to see thought leaders, content creators, and some of the biggest names both in the space of health, wellness, personal development, human optimization, conscious entrepreneurship, right? The guys that are doing all the big things out there, you're going to start seeing people using Kava. It's going to be everywhere. Eventually, it's going to be as common as a cup of coffee.